G'day all, welcome back to the channel. I know I've said in previous videos that there were going to be more regular updates and uploads for the G60 Patrol Garage page on YouTube. That is going to happen and it will come to fruition. It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. I've invested in a hoist recently and I've just got to finalise, get the concrete side of things sorted, and once that's all up and running, it'll make working on these old bangers a bit more enjoyable. It's been a bit monotonous having to roll around on the ground using jacks over the time in the dirt floor. It wears a bit thin over time, so I've bit the bullet. I've invested in that, and it's going to make working on things just a bit easier all around. So anyway, stay tuned for more videos. But in this episode here, we're going to be focusing on this blue middle-based G60 Patrol. It's a 1976 model. It hasn't done a lot of work, judging by the looks of it. This car actually belongs to a mate of mine that lives in Mount Isa, and it recently, actually just yesterday, it arrived on a tilt tray to my place here, and I've been designated the job of getting this beauty back up and registered and running. So anyway, yeah, he bought it a couple of years ago, hadn't done nothing really with because he's been so busy with his job and that. Probably has a few too many projects like all of us. But yeah, he sent it down here and I'm going to sort it out for him. So in 2018, this car here, the fella that my mate got it off, got a permit, drove it all the way up from the south coast of New South Wales back to Mount Isa. So about 4,000 k's trip, and apparently the car didn't miss a beat. So hopefully it doesn't need a lot for rego. The brakes were working when I drove it off the truck yesterday, but apparently they are dragging, so there's a likely leak in there. The cylinder's let go and it's that little rusty drum, but the fact that the master cylinder is both low in both ports, I dare say there's a leak. So we'll be going all across through that anyway and doing what needs to be done. It won't be till the hoist is up and running, but what we'll do today is we'll go around and we'll stuff out this old banger. We'll see what cool quirky features she's got on it. And we'll make a bit of a list and a game plan, and we'll suss out what she needs done for rego. So anyway, we'll let me talk here. We'll take a look around, alright? Righto, so we'll take a look around the big girl. So what do we got under here? We've still got the old P motor, big 6-cylinder. It runs quite well. It does need a tune-up, so I'll give it plugs, points, all that thing. I'll do the tappets on it. I'll rebuild the distributor because the wires in them are probably nearly about to fail by today's day and age, afraid. So I'll just knock up some of them when I rebuild the dizzy. I'll give it a service. I'll tune up the carburetor, replace the fuel filters. We'll do all the stuff that you do with an old car. Probably do the hoses. Oh yeah, that's a bit crunchy, as is that one. So we get new hoses. Exhaust is not too bad, tiny little bit of a leak there. Some of this wiring's pretty ordinary. Someone's been in here before and mucked around with it. But yeah, as I was saying, definitely got a leak. So we'll be doing all the brakes and stuff. We'll be going through it. We'll see what needs to be done. We'll give the good system a coolant flush down out that rear bung there. Very overlook point on the old G60s. Still got the original Welsh plugs in it too, so hopefully they're not rusting from the inside out because they are a steel Welsh plug. We'll probably pull the thermostat out. We'll test it. We'll probably even change it just for the sake of it. Still got the little heater ducting like the early ones do, but I've never seen that before. Cable operate that. That's definitely rigged up because you usually have to hop out and flick them, so it's a bit of a nightmare sort of thing. But fuel pump looks good. I did notice on the tilt tray yesterday when they dropped it off, there was a bit of an oil leak on the left hand side of the tray, so I dare say that's where that's coming from because that is a definite leak. Heater's been disconnected. That doesn't really matter. I dare say, being a Canberra vehicle, they probably would have needed it, but now in Mount Isa it won't really matter, I don't think. So I dare say it's probably just a leaking core and stuff like that, but it's pretty soft toe, so it doesn't look like it's been disconnected too recently or too long ago. don't know what they've done there, sort of thing. It's a bit of a makeshift thing. How's it look under the oil cap? Pretty sludged up like every other G60. Do have better quality oils these days, but even the firewall's pretty good. No rust in it, just surface rust. Even down there's not a lot of cracks along here. You'll find that they always crack along here. Someone's thrown a ballast resistor in there. Still run the original carby and oil bath, so we'll leave the carby. It's pretty good. We'll wash that oil bath out and we'll sort all that out. It's not really up to me this one, but someone's put all this foam under the bonnet, so I'll just leave that there. There is a little bit of rust in this corner here that does need to be tended to, as well as in this side as well. You'll find on the earlier G60s, they always rust out there. The shit gets in behind that skin as well and rusts out. I've seen on even some fairly decent ones that happens, so it is just the way the cookie crumbles. They actually changed that bracing in the late 70s because of that issue, but then the bracing was all on the front edge of the bonnet here, so they all rust out the front of the bonnet eventually. So anyway, that's not a bad fix. It looks like it's had some halogen inserts put in, whatever they're called. I like the old stone guards. I got them on my G60 as well. The chrome's pretty good. Yeah, she's a 4th month 76, so it's pretty original, old girl. The radiator looks good. Unfortunately, there's not a radiator guy in town anymore because he was pretty cheap. He used to pull the radiator apart and do the tanks for about 80, 100 bucks and prod them out and stuff like that. So it's still got the old power lock freewheeling hubs on it. They're a bit of an ugly looking hub. They stick out a fair way and they're a bit of annoying because if you haven't got your screwdriver on you, they become a bit hard to lock. So yeah, the tyres look good. They're not really perished or nothing like that. Tyres do have a date on them, as some of you might know. So what's that there? 45th week of 2013. So they have a few years under their belt, but they're not old, they're not perished, so I'll just leave them on there. It's pretty solid up here. No rust, just dirt trapped. Floor pan looks good there. Tiny little bit of a ding there, but you got to expect that for a nearly 50-year-old four-wheel drive. Windscreen frame's not bad. It's obviously had a little bit of a scrape up there and knocked that paint off at some stage, but it's all solid. No rust. The seal and that's pretty tight. There's the old permit. A few little bits of surface rust up the top, nothing that's going to affect it for rego. It does need a new windscreen, judging by that. So I'll be able to sort that out, no worries. It is missing the original mirrors off the front here, which is no big deal. Someone has, by the looks of that, had door mirrors put on there, which is not a bad idea because they can be a bit of a nuisance trying to adjust them all the time when they're out on the guard. Where you can, on the door, it's a bit easy to adjust them all the time. So anyway, we'll have a look inside here. Doors look pretty good. Dashes is pretty good. No rust in the bottom of the windscreen. Pretty tidy, old girl. What's in the glove box? Oldest receipts. Someone's gone to town on the carpet. There's the old heater. Yeah, a little bit of rust. So I dare say the heater core might have been leaking, dropping the coolant out there. Someone's gone to town on the carpets. No real rusty where they rust out though. It's not bad at all, really. It's just a joint. Someone's put all this plastic and shit under there as a floor mat, and the original floor mats aren't too bad. Seats aren't too bad. The upholstery's a bit ordinary, but because there's no sharp items poking through the seat like your rods or your springs or your frame, it's not really a roadworthy item, so that's good. Oh yeah, beautiful. Brand new battery too, so that'll be good. Still got your little rubbers here for your jack handle, which is good. Someone's played around with the seat belts by the looks of it, because that's the only original one left I can see. Yeah, it's the only Nissan one left, but that's all right. The rest are all compliant. They're not frayed or perished, so that's good. It's pretty good around the door jambs. No rust. The G60s do rust around this seat thing here, where the shit from the back wheel flicks up there, but this one's pretty solid. So doors look all good. No cracks in here. Yeah, not bad. Bottom of the door is pretty good. No rust holes. Just your bung. No holes there. Nice one. Still got the original side steps on them, which are in pretty good nick. Pretty hard to get actually, because they hang down so low. a lot of the time you'll find people have just hacked them straight off level with the chassis. Yeah, not many G60s still got them on them actually, for that reason. So the later ones actually had bolt-on ones, so Nissan obviously knew that and were aware that people weren't overly impressed with them, you could say. Oh yeah, well the air vents work pretty good. That must be for that little heater flappy for the intake. Someone's put that up there because they've gone to town with the carpet and that. Bit of a shame, that carpet, but oh yeah, old custom made gear boots, they're interesting. They must be a Canberra edition or something, mate, because I've never seen them before on a G60. But even looking at the gear knob, it hasn't done a lot of work by the minimal wear on that. So dash is pretty good, other than a few holes drilled in it, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's would have had a few owners in its life. I dare say been near a 50-year-old. So anyway, we'll keep looking around and see what else we can find. It's got your Sterling hardtop on it. It's not in bad nick. The paint's coming off of it. A little bit of rust up there in the roof rack, but it's not structural. It's just more or less surface rust, so that's not going to affect it for a roadworthy or nothing. So it's pretty good. Someone that's actually done a bit of preventative measures around here. The G60s, especially the ones with the split rims, the weight of the tyre over time on corrugated and rough roads actually fatigues this back panel around this bottom mount, and they crack through and punch through. So someone's reinforced all that, taking preventative measures so it doesn't do it. It's still got the original bumperette and rear tail light. Looks like that bumper's had a bit of a nudge at some time, so no big deal. It's all good. No real rust in the back quarters there. Couple of little bubbles there, but nothing that's going to affect it for rego. It's a very solid car. Looks all good under there. I'll blow all that dirt out with the air compressor. Oh, not the air compressor. The gurney. We'll clean all that up. Brush all that mud out with a pressure washer. Get that looking good. The spare tyre's still pretty good. Someone's unfortunately cut the number plate mount off of it, but you get that. Oh yeah, that's where the number plate would have been, up there, the way that light's flicked. Someone's also rated that reflector and put it up there, but I'll probably put another one on down there just to be sure. This rear bumper's good. The rear step's in pretty good nick. It's not a bad car overall. Let's have a look in the back. Yeah, nice. Oh, more carpet. So yeah, someone's really wanted to do the carpet. Still got the original crank handle in it. It's all mouldy and stuff like that. So I've been airing it out yesterday and today. So I'll let it air out a bit more. I won't really be spending a lot of time inside, so that's all good. But yeah, that carpet's a bit of a nuisance. Fuel cap. I've seen that on a lot of G60s, but it's not the original one. The original one's got like a little clamshell shape and a little flappy lid that goes through. But judging by that, it looks pretty good in there. Not a lot of moisture in there by the looks of that. A little bit of patina. It actually can't really good with the buff, this thing. I think the paint's gone really chalky. Anyway, let's have a look in here. Once again, doors in good nick. Someone's put the stickers over there. That's cool. So got the side step on this side as well, which is awesome. More carpet. Matched with tanny colour seatbelts. Not the best spotty colour choice, if I might add. But no, it's pretty solid, eh? Under here. No rust in this thing up here. It's all good. I do have some new pedal rubbers in stock that I was throwing there, so that's all good. Air vent opens good. There's your little service sticker that someone's moved from down off the firewall as well up there. This floor here might need a bit more loving. Yeah, this side's going to need a little bit of work, so we'll worry about that later. But the floor mats are still in there, pretty original. It actually runs really well. I don't know if they're original kilometers or not, but it hasn't had a really hard life. The door hinges are pretty good, but you will see, typical G60 floor, is a body crack in the doors. So someone's had a go at fixing that so far, which is good. It doesn't shut great, but but it could be part of the adjustment too, so we'll tackle that later. It's no big deal. I noticed when I moved it though, all the gauges seem to work. It starts pretty well. I'll kick it in the guts. She's a race model too. She's got the big tacho up here, so key on, give her a pump. Oh, listen to it. She's bloody purring. Typical G60. So it needs a bit of a tune-up. Alternator's charging. She's getting oil pressure. Yeah, she's not a bad old chariot. All the air vents open pretty good. But you'll find though when they've done a lot of work, the springs get really lazy and that'll sort of flap around. But these are nice and tight. They're not too tight. You'll find that when they're too tight, like they've sat around in the shed or in the sun and never really been driven or open, the seal actually sort of gets really tight on the flap, and the handles actually snap off. I've actually got a mint red ute with no rust, but one of the handles are snapped off because it's so tight. So I don't really want to weld to it to put it back on, so I'll just open the vent from the outside if I'm going to drive it, and it is what it is. I can always fix it one day, but I don't really want to really weld to it. So yeah, someone's gone to town on the foam as well. That ruins it a bit. Yeah, it's not a bad old chariot. I don't know what RS stands for, sort of thing, but the wipers and that were working, so beautiful. Yeah, the windscreen needs redoing. I'll sort that out. There's no drama at all. The rubber needs redoing because I noticed on the outside someone's already had a go with a bit of mastic trying to get it to seal. So yeah, there you go. You can see what I was saying about the doors. Doesn't need a lot of loving. It's a pretty solid old truck. I hope you enjoyed the video, but I don't know what it needs mechanical wise. So the springs are sitting pretty good actually for a G60. Usually inverted in the front, but when I get the hoist set up and that, I'll get a lever in there. I'll check out all the bushes. I'll go around, grease them up. What needs doing? I'll be tightening up your drag link if it needs it. I'll just I know it needs sway bar link rubbers. They're pretty perished, as you can see. The shockers, they're not leaking, they're not weeping. They seem to work okay. Haven't had a look at your rear spring bushes, but the spring sitting's pretty central, which is good. There's not a lot to do underneath here. The old cross members had a bit of a whack, but that's alright. It's not a roadworthy item as long as there's no rust. There's a bit of a weep around that bell housing there, but I dare say it could be blown back from the sump gasket there as well. Either that or it could be rear main, but we'll give it a degrease and we'll go from there. The rear output seal on the gearbox, the transfer case, it is weeping, so I'll get that sorted. Other than that, I'll just check all the wheel bearings, check all your bushes, rear shockers have been done. I'll check all your sway bar link rubbers. I'll go around and do that. I'll grease up everything that needs to be done, replace anything that needs to be done for Hayden, and you'll see a few more videos. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Cheers.